Right. Good morning, Kat Bodnar here. I'm gonna start doing some gentle morning yoga in just a moment. Just wanted to hop on a little early. Well, would know I'm here. We'll get started very soon. For some reason, chat is not connecting. I don't know why. Maybe it'll let me chat now. Okay, well, I think it let me send that. So feel free to say hi on the chat, or if you're ever having a hard time hearing, seeing, yeah, feel free to let me know with the chat. We'll get going in just a moment. So prop I recommend for you to have a towel or a blanket. I think I'm probably going to be sitting on one of my blankets, and I'll use a towel for the non-sitting part. That'll make more sense in a moment. Okay, let me just, yep, all right, that framing looks good. Okay. Okay. Well, let's dive in this morning. I get kind of my watch off. Let me get my water closer by and more water in my glass, and I'll be more ready to go. Right, so we're going to start this morning in a comfortable seated position. That could be on the floor, that could be in a chair. And you're going to want 1 to 2 blankets or towels. Okay, and I say 1 to 2 because you might want to sit on one, which I'm going to do with this blanket here. And what you're going to do with the second thing, and I have this unicorn towel. That part's not important. What you're really doing with this, you're just going to wrap it around your chest, about where a strapless dress would go. Okay, so you're really going to snug it on up here. And you're going to keep a gentle grip with your arms just so you can really feel that. I'm going to call it a blanket, but it can be a towel. It could be a sheet. It could be, I don't know, just any amount of material that easily goes all the way around your chest. And essentially what we're going to do is hold that nice and tight. Good. Not so tight that you can't breathe, but tight enough that you feel your breath space. You feel your chest, but in the front and the back and the sides, you feel all of that expanding into your blanket as you breathe in. As you breathe out, you just feel it gently collapse in. Okay, so we're going to take ourselves a little time here, just sitting, breathing into our blanket. And let each inhale make you just a little bit taller through the top of the head. And with each exhale, just a little heavier into the sits bones, the thighs. Just trying to breathe into that whole blanket. If you're just joining us, I think I may have just seen my viewer number go up. We're sitting comfortably. We're holding a towel, blanket, some such thing, snugly around the chest, okay? Just to give us, this touch sensation with our breath. As you're breathing in, notice if there's anywhere that the breath is not going. So often finding that expansion into the back takes, just a little more mindful effort. Okay. So as you're trying to breathe into the back, try not to kind of round and push into it this way, but still stay nice and tall through the whole spine. We'll take a little more time here. And how tight you hold this prop around you, that is totally up to you. You want it tight enough to feel the breath, but not so tight that it stops the breath. All right, let's put our blanket to the side, one that we're not sitting on. Okay, let's bring fingertips to shoulders and make big circles as you can with the elbows. And circle the other way. All right, and then keeping the fingers on the shoulders. Feeling like I needed to burp for a second, and I didn't. All right, so we're gonna alternating twist to this side. So one elbow's gonna go forwards, one back. They drop down as you come to the center, and look to the other side. Twist, twist. And just find a way to keep the breath moving. I kind of like to exhale with each twist. And send that out kind of forcefully through the mouth. But you might do it the other way. You might inhale as you're twisting. Just make sure that breath is moving. And ideally, coordinated with that twist somehow. And let's go 3, 2, and 1, and 1. Nice. Let the arms come down. All right. Whew. If you're sitting cross-legged, like I was, this might be a good time to switch the crossing of the legs, just to change it up. All right, imagine a pencil attached to the top of your head. Okay. And you are going to start by making very small circles with that pencil. So really tiny movement of the head. This can go either direction. We're gonna switch it up in a moment. And now make each circle a little bit bigger than the one that came before. And now try and get to where you're at your biggest, but still smooth and comfortable circle. And let's go 2 more nice and big, but still in a range that's smooth and easy. All right, and now take those big, smooth, easy circles the other direction. So essentially on the second side, we're gonna go from big to small. And gradually start making each circle a little smaller than the one that came before. All right, and then you're back in your tiny, almost hard to see, you're moving your head at all circles. All right. Last tiny circle. Open your eyes if they weren't already. Clasp the hands, place them on top of the head. Shrug the shoulders up. You're gonna even shrugging your ribs up. Press up into the hand. Keep pressing your head up, but let the shoulders drop, your ribs drop. And bring the arms down off your head. Let's come into a tabletop on our hands and knees. A good time for a little water. So pad those knees if that's helpful for you. Also, if you use any blocks or books, such things. Okay, it's a good time to get those set up to the front of your mat. Okay. And then let's begin some cat and cow on our tabletop. Pardon me while I be fussy for a second about my placement in my video. Okay. All right, with an inhale, let's arch and look up. Exhale to round and push the floor away. Alternate at your pace. All right, let's do a few more here. You're welcome to keep it as is, or you can tuck those toes, hover your knees just an inch off the mat and do the same cat-cow. It's a little more fire in your legs and your core. If that's not feeling right for you this morning, skip it. Leave it up. Just keep the knees down. You came here for you. And the last one. All right, and then sit back on the heels in child's pose. Obviously, if you were hovering your knees, you can now put them down. All right, then from our child's pose, let's lift up to downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your feet as wide as your mat. Bend your knees to draw the hips up and back more. The armpits open, front ribs lift. Fingers are evenly spread. Ears between the upper arms. And then start to re-extend the legs again. Maybe just a little straighter. Don't lose that extra length you just made in the back. Then step the feet back to hip distance apart. Lower the knees down to your mat or to your blanket. Then walk the hands back until you are just on your knees. So we're going to do a little sequence here. Those of you that were regular at my Oakland or Marin classes, you've seen this before. So from two knees, we're going to step 1 foot forwards. Let's take the right foot forwards. Okay, tuck those back toes. You are going to come up to standing here. If you're feeling stuck, you can put your hands on that front thigh. Use that to help get you up. Okay, and from here, we're going to inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. And then from that forward fold to a downward dog. So bend the knees as needed so you can get those hands flat. And then step the feet back. Feel a stretch of the backs of the legs for a moment. Then lower the knees down. Okay. Walk the hands back until you are just on your knees. Then take a moment here to really press that tailbone down to the floor. Feel some stretch in the fronts of the legs and hips. Then step the left foot in front, just the heel under the knee. Okay, so just making a nice solid alignment to stand up on. Tuck those back toes and push and stand up. Okay, we're going to do that one more time on each side. I'm going to show that doing your downward dog on yoga blocks. Okay. If you are putting your hands on blocks in your downward dog, you want to make sure that they are on your mat and not sliding. And also just be very, very mindful of using them. All right, inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to floor or blocks to come into downward dog. And then lower the knees down. Bring the hands back until you're upright on your knees. Step the right foot in front, and then left foot comes forward to meet it. Okay, we'll do that one more time for the left side. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. From forward fold to downward dog. From downward dog, lower the knees down. Bring the hands back. Step the left foot forwards. And then the right foot forwards to meet it. All right, I'm going to shift. I'm going to keep my blocks up to the front of my mat, but I'm going to shift them a little wider apart. Okay. So we are going to come here. We're going to alternate between a chair. We did this earlier this week. And then you're going to balance on one leg. And you might just lift a heel, or you might lift the foot entirely. And then the feet down. You're in chair. And lift the other foot. Okay. So keep a little space between the feet. And then just as much space between those knees. Okay, so they're often going to want to buckle in here, even if the feet are apart. So it's going to take a little more mindful outer hip engagement to not let that happen. So I just wanted you to see that from the front, what we are aiming for with those knees. And if it feels better, you might have your hands on your hips here instead of up by your ears. All right, this time let's bring this into tree pose. All right. So we're up. Whatever foot you happen to have up, we're gonna do both. Just bring it on in against that standing leg. Okay. Remember, you've got height options here. Okay. Good. And if you find that you are having to touch the lifted foot down, you know, every like few seconds or so to save your balance, I would say just keep it down. Snug it on in next to that standing leg. You're still giving yourself a balance challenge compared to being on 2 feet. Okay, so let your body feel that this, you know, this different way of balancing can be possible, can be calm. Okay, and then press that lifted knee back a bit, just till you're feeling some engagement in that same side buttock there. Not so much that it turns your hips, okay, but just that you kind of feel that outer thigh, good, squeezing in to that glute on that side. Great. And if you are feeling fairly steady here, maybe you lift your standing heel just a tiny bit for a moment. And to do that, can you squeeze that foot and standing leg in on each other a little more? Whew. All right, let's bring that down, shake it out. All right. And so whichever leg you didn't do yet, first let's chair on 2 legs. And then as you stand up, bring that other leg up. And then bring that into your tree for Vrikshasana. Okay, and then squeeze that knee back, just so you're feeling some work in the buttock, feeling that outer thigh connect into the glute. Maybe you lift that standing heel just a little bit. Okay. And just to see, just to make things a little crazier. It is Friday after all. All right, let's come on down. Shake things out. Maybe a quick sip of water. Okay, so we're gonna have our knees down again for one more thing before we move on to some other standing stuff. So I would keep that blanket there if you've got it. All right, inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to floor or your blocks. Step the left foot way back on your mat. And lower that knee down. And then bring the arms up into a low lunge. And then let's shift a little bit back out of our lunge for a moment, just so we can drop that right hip down a little more and drop that tailbone a little more. Okay? And then squeeze that left butt cheek so much that it sends you back forwards into the lunge. Make sure however far forward you go that the knee stays over the front heel. And keep that squeeze in the left buttock. All right, then bring the right hand down to the right knee, left hand down to the floor or block or prop. Okay, if it easily reaches the floor, you could come there. All right, press the right hand down to the right knee, to spin your chest to the right, and then stretch that right arm out. And then bring the right hand down. Good. You're going to step your left foot forwards and your right leg back. So you might have your hands on the floor to do this. You might have your hands up on blocks to do this. Okay, right leg goes back. All right, so essentially coming into that same low lunge that we did on the right side. Now we're going to shift the weight back again. So you can drop that left hip down, maybe point that tailbone down to the floor a little more. Okay, and then the squeeze in that right buttock is what sends you back forwards into the low lunge. And keep that squeeze there to both encourage and support this hip stretch. Let's bring the left hand down to the left knee, right hand down to the floor or to a prop. And push the left hand down into the knee to spin the chest up. And then extend that left arm up. Bring the left hand down, hands on floor or blocks as that right foot comes forwards. So forward fold, let's let our head drop for a moment. And then with an inhale, come up to a long flat back, half lift. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale to lengthen, then stand all the way up with a big reach. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay. So we'll be a little bit before we have our knees down again. So if you'd rather your blanket or towel was out of the way, you can move that to the side. Okay. Ultimately, our next objective is to lie down on our belly. So we can sun salutation our way down, or you can just get to your belly, whatever works for you. All right. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. All right. So you just lie down on your belly some way, somehow, or maybe come to downward dog. For this one, I would definitely have the hands on the floor, some way, somehow. Okay. And you can do a slow negative push-up down, keeping those elbows close to your side. Okay. If you want a little more challenge in that way. Just get back a little bit to be more centered. Okay, bring the arms back along your side. All right, come up into locust pose with an inhale. Inhale, squeeze the back, the butt, to lift the chest, the legs, arms, basically everything but your pelvis off of the mat. Good. Now keep the body lifted, but bring the elbows down under the shoulders. Okay, so that's going to lower the legs down to the mat and bring the chest a bit higher into Sphinx. Okay. So for the next few breaths, you might keep your shape here. This is a good place to be, especially if your back tends to get cranky. Then I would say maybe just stick with this for now. Or you can lower the chest down. So bring the hands back a little bit behind the shoulders. Lift up to Cobra, Bhujangasana. Keep some bend in the arms. In fact, bend them even more so the shoulders can drop even lower. And you might stay in Cobra or straighten the arms, hover the thighs, upward facing dog. And gently lower back down the belly and then chest to the mat. And press back up to downward dog. Then from downward dog, walk or hop your feet forwards. Inhale, lengthen the spine forwards, half lift. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale to lengthen, then stand all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Okay. So, turn to one side, and you can step or jump your feet wide. So between your legs and the floor, you are aiming to make an equilateral triangle. Okay, aiming to. If being that wide doesn't feel right for your body, totally fine to be in a bit closer. Okay, I'm gonna face you and be your mirror this morning. Turn the right toes out all the way. Left toes in a little bit. Okay, if you use a prop for a lot of our warrior two side angle type stuff, I'm going to encourage you to take that prop to the pinky edge of your right foot today. Okay, and let's stretch those arms out. Bend the right knee, warrior two. All right, and while we're here, let's inhale and shrug the shoulders up. Exhale, let them drop. And then turn the right palm up and reverse your warrior, side bending to your left. All right. And then lean back over to your right. Maybe that right knee bends a little more to come to side angle pose. So you might have your right forearm on the right thigh. Good. And let your left arms come close to your face here, making a long line started by the left leg. Or if you are going to bring that hand lower, like say down to your prop, that's going to come to the outside of that leg today. And then that right knee presses back into your arm presses into the knee. And the ultimate goal there is not so much about the knee, but it's about waking up that right glute. I'm going to take a little more time here. Maybe that left arm comes around behind your back. Your back of your hand is what's going to touch your back. Your palm will be facing out. So it bends around to spin that chest up a little more. If the shoulder doesn't like it, leave it out. Okay? We want these additional things to improve our pose, improve our ease. And if we don't, they're just not the shape for us in that moment. All right, let's inhale, come back up to warrior two. And straighten the right leg. And switch things over to the left side. So if you're using a prop, bring that with you. Right toes turn in, left toes turn out a little bit. I may have kind of slid apart here. All right, so first, Virabhadrasana 2 on your left side. Let's inhale, squeeze the shoulders up. Exhale, let them drop. And turn the left palm up, reverse your warrior, side bending to your left. Legs are still in their warrior two shape. All right, and then lean over to your left to side angle pose. Maybe that left knee bends a little more. Your forearm can come onto the thigh, or maybe that left arm down to the prop that's on the pinky edge of your left foot. Right arm has now come close to your face here as a extension of that right leg. And maybe this top arm with the palm facing out slides around the back. All right, inhale, lift back up to warrior two. All right, and let's bring the feet to parallel. And you can set your prop down if you like. Hands on hips. Inhale, get long through the spine. Exhale, keep that length as you hinge forwards. Okay, so feel these fronts of thighs squeezing more, hugging to that thigh bone, the more you hinge forwards. Good. Hands might come to your prop. You might let your spine round. Maybe your head comes down to your prop. It can also be a great place to use a chair. So, kind of giving that head something a little bit higher to lift up on. We're not going to be here super long, so if you don't have one super nearby, just kind of note that away as something to try another day. And inhale, come up to a long flat back. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale to stand all the way up. All right. Step or jump the feet back in. All right. Next, we're going to come to a tabletop on our mat. And we're going to come from 2 knees to 1 knee in a way. So you may want your knees padded. Okay, so first, starting in a strong stacked tabletop here. All right, your right knee is going to stay where it is. Your right foot is going to pivot off to the right. It's going to make the balance a little easier. Then slide the left foot back to come in line with the right hand and right knee, and then reach the left arm up to the sky. Okay, and fingers of that right hand are evenly spread. So that right hand is as big as it can comfortably be on the mat here. So when we don't have a lot of contact with our mat, with the floor, we want to really make use of what we do have there. Your left foot might stay down, or it might hover. And let's bring that on back to our tabletop. To do the other side, the left knee stays, the left foot pivots, the right foot slides back. Okay, and I'm keeping my left shoulder here right over the heel of my left palm as I come into the side balance. Okay, and that left hand is taking up space. Those fingers are working to help me balance. The right foot can stay down, or it can lift, aiming to be parallel to the floor. Let's lower back down to our tabletop. And sit back on the heels in child pose. Come on up from your child's pose. So we are going to do that side balance one more time each side. You have the option to work it, either of the shapes that we just did, or take it to a full-on side plank on a straight arm or on a forearm. I'm going to do mine on my forearms today. I'm going to do my side plank. All right, so roll over onto your right side. Okay, so I'm going to talk through this as if you're doing plank, but as I just said, if you want to do the side balance we just did, feel free to do that again. All right, so you're going to lift the hips up. Shoulder stays right over the elbow. Okay, your bottom knee can be down. Top hand can be on your hip, or that arm can extend up. And you're feeling the right shoulder blade squeeze in against the back. All right, and lower down. All right, roll it to your left side or pass it through tabletop if you are still doing that version. Okay, elbow right under shoulder. Lift the hips up. Okay, both legs can be straight or that bottom knee can be down. And let's lower down. And come to another child's pose just for a moment. Let's rise up to downward dog. Walk or hop your feet forwards. From your forward fold, inhale, come up to a long flat back. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale to lengthen, then stand all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Okay, so we'll shift that blanket out of the way again. A little bit more standing work. Then we're going to come down to sitting. Okay, so you have a prop handy. Place it at its highest height between your feet. Okay, and step your left foot back. Okay, so kind of take it pretty far here. You might not put that back heel down. You can if you want. We are setting up for revolved triangle. In case you're like, what's the point of all this? That's what's going on. Okay, so 2 legs are straight. Good, you can spin your back heel down or stay on the ball of the foot. Let's take 2 arms up. And then left arm forwards, right arm back. Twist towards your right. All right, and then lean forwards, left arm down, right arm up to the sky. That left hand can come to a block. Good. It can come to somewhere on that right leg as a little resting point there. Okay. If it easily reaches the floor, it can come there as well. And now bend your right knee to bring that into a lunge. All right, so now we're going to lift out the twist and face forwards. If you're feeling stuck, you can bring the right hand to the right knee to help you lift up. All right, now we definitely do want that back foot flat if it is not already. Toes pointing slightly forwards in the back there, warrior 1. Okay. Take hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, squeeze the arms as straight as you can, open the chest, and fold forwards. Okay. If it's tricky to straighten the arms, then maybe they just stay low to your back. Good. Or if having them clasped is really uncomfortable, you could also just bring them to the hips instead and squeeze those shoulder blades together. That might give you the best squeeze, not trying to clasp your hands. Okay? Or if clasping and straightening is easy, maybe the arms start to float away from the back in your humble warrior. Inhale to come up. Yes, bring the arms up. And step the left foot forwards, however many steps that takes. All right, and step the right foot back. I'm gonna flip around so I am facing to the camera, even though it doesn't mean I can see you guys. Makes me feel like I can see you better, even if I can't. So the right foot way back. Okay, so each foot is in line with its own hip, so no need to feel like you're on a tightrope. Okay, straighten the left leg, 2 arms up, right arm forwards, left arm back, rotate. Good, keep that wingspan broad as you lean forwards. Left hand can come down to the left leg, maybe down to a prop or the floor. Okay, and bend the left knee. Bring that into a lunge. Good, still with that twist. All right, inhale to lift up out of that twist. 2 arms up. Now flatten the back foot down if it wasn't already. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Good. Other hand in front. Good. So, goal here is to get a nice squeeze in the back. You might get a better squeeze just with the hands on the hips and hinging forwards. That might work better. Okay. Or hands. Good. If it's hard to straighten the arms, keep them close. If they're easily straightening, let them float away from the back. Inhale to come up. Release the arms up. And step the right foot forwards until you're back at the top of your mat. Good. All right, so this next part, you can do standing or kneeling. So kneeling is your option if being on the knees is uncomfortable, especially in the stance that we're about to come into. And again, padding can help, but sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes you just need to not be on your knees. Okay, so you're gonna take the right leg out, good. Or if you're standing, you're just gonna keep legs underneath. Yes, you could extend it out. You could play with that. I don't know why that hadn't occurred to me before. Okay, so as I was saying, right leg goes out. Good. Keep that left knee right under the left hip. So often the hips kind of want to sway with the extended leg. All right. And that left buttock is staying firm here. Front of that supporting thigh is drilling down into the floor. Kali Mudra with your hands, fingers interlaced except for index and thumb. Lengthen up. And then side bend to your right. And you're staying broad across both the chest and the back here as you side bend. Maybe the arms squeeze a little straighter. Now let's inhale to come up. Bring the arms down for a moment if you want as we swap out the legs. Left leg goes out. Good. That supporting thigh is totally perpendicular to the floor. Stretch the arms up. Inhale, get longer. Exhale, side bend to your left. Good. Staying firm in that left butt cheek. Front of the left thigh drilling into the floor. Inhale to come up. Release the arms down, let that knee come in. All right, and come to sitting with your legs stretched down in front of you. Realize just saying sitting doesn't necessarily fully describe. All right, so feel free to use a prop if you find that helpful in your forward fold. Let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge forwards. So if you feel like the flesh under the sits bones is impeding your hinge, feel free to take a little shift side to side and move that out of the way. Inhale to bring yourself up. Get that fold. Good. Next, let's lie down on our back. Once you're down on your back, you're going to hook your right ankle on your left thigh and figure four. So just with the left foot down and hooking that right ankle, that might be enough hip stretch, especially if your hips are pretty tight. Okay, so honor that. If your hips are like, nope, I'm good right here, that was enough. Okay, or you can bring the legs in. Good. Tailbone staying on the mat as much as you can. So it's kind of let the floor flatten out your back for you. So you're pulling that left leg in. Let go of the left leg straightens and goes down onto the floor. And let's spin around to show this part here. Okay, so you're going to take that right knee across to a twist. Okay, and you might keep that right knee bent or start extending that right leg and see how close you can get the left hand to your right foot. Okay, and as the right leg goes that way, your head and chest turn to your right. unwind out of your twist. To come into figure 4 on your left side. So left ankle hooks on the right thigh. Maybe that's enough right there. Or you pull the legs in towards you by clasping around the right leg. Let go of the right leg. Right leg straightens and goes down onto the mat. Pull the left knee into your chest. And take the left knee across to twist. The knee can stay bent or come to any amount of straight. And just turn to your left. Unwind out of your twist. All right. Plug the knees into your chest. Come back to sideways to you. Give the squeeze in to even out the back. And plant the feet down. Arms by your side. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift up to bridge pose. And lower down. And stretch out into your Shavasana. If you're feeling a little chilly, feel free to cover yourself up with a blanket. You might roll up a blanket or a towel and slide it under your knees. Come back to your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch your arms up overhead, reaching back for the floor. Bend your knees, roll over onto one side. Let the knees kind of curl up in front of you. And then gently push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Your palms together at your heart. Let's close our practice by chanting one Om all together. First exhale fully, then a deep inhale. Thank you all so much for joining in this morning. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day and weekend. I think I still need to update the description of this video, but I will. Yeah, if you're looking for any contact or donation info, it's in there. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great day.